Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gaming Public Radio with our GPR cast. I am Jacob Wagner, and I got Luke Miller and Ricky Beckett here, and today we are going to be talking about a whole bunch of different things. We're going to be going over a little bit about the news of the week. We're going to be talking about the Direct, the Nintendo Direct that happened yesterday, even though I went on about it for an hour last night. We're going to be bringing it in and see what these guys have to say about it. We're going to be looking at that is the wrong thing I'm looking at. The different I had a description for the stream, and it is not what I had. So we're going to be going over a whole bunch of other things. We're going to be looking at what Xbox finally decided that they wanted to have for their games. Again, some of the news, both for games and other media. And we're going to be bringing in the topic at the very end for our roundtable. In a way, kind of talking about old and new games, about looking at games that have stopped getting patched, and looking forward to what kind of games maybe that Square Enix would like to have. That being said, let's start on off. Ricky, how have you been? What are you playing? All that type of jazz.
I've been pretty good. I'm currently, my wife and I are currently visiting some friends who basically consider family. They're an older couple who, when my wife moved to the States from Finland back in 2014, they basically took her in and became parental figures to her. So we're visiting them. And which means I'm eating very well because Craig is a very good cook.
Awesome.
So yeah, just been spending some good time with them. I'm still getting ready for the cybersecurity course. That'll start March 6th. My laptop for that just came in because they recommend Windows for the OS.
Sure.
Which I have a MacBook that I use. So yeah, I got a really good Lenovo ThinkPad that came in with nice 8 GB RAM and 512 gigs of SSD. So that's gonna be real good.
8 gigs of RAM is not that big.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, for what it is, it's
yeah.
I mean, for the price I got it for is what I meant.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. It was on sale for quite a bit. Anyway, yeah, so gaming wise, not a whole lot this week just because of spending time with people, but I guess I've been playing through Pokemon Sun. I played through Moon, and a long time ago I had started Sun, and just stopped. So I'm playing through it again, mostly so I can bring Pokemon over to Scarlet eventually, primarily the legendary for that. But
you're banking those mons.
Yes, I am.
You gotta actually be careful about that, or you might have to go quickly because the 3DS servers are going to be going down in the next month or two, and I do not remember how much that affects the Pokemon Bank online servers. So
interesting. Yeah, I thought that had already happened.
that they closed down the shops, the eShops,
Oh,
for the
right. Yeah,
3DS
yeah,
and
yeah.
Wii U last year. Now they're going to be closing the servers, so
Mm.
that I might have to, yeah, probably I need to search that to see what it is. I don't remember off the top of my head. I feel like they talked about it and that they might be setting something extra up so that people can have their backwards compatibility, but um they also are not shy about just, all right, we're done with this content, so we're leaving it behind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Good, good. Luke, I know you've got a wild household, but don't worry about it.
Sure. Yeah, I have to keep my ear to the ground tonight. My wife's not feeling well. My daughter's at pep band, so I have two boys in the background somewhere. So if you see them run by, they're safe.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway, it's just a pretty boring week actually. Not a whole lot happened. That's kind of nice for a change actually. Um, Gaming wise, I've been playing Helldivers 2 when I get into the servers, and that is awesome. I'm usually not a multiplayer person, usually more of a single player guy, but I'm having a lot of fun with that game. Um, I try to direct my pod to the big boss type enemies and land on them and hopefully take them out. And so it's a lot of fun. And then I'm down to my last four trophies for Last of Us Part Two before I have my platinum. So I'm slowly taking away there. That's pretty much it for my week.
Did you hear about
Mm.
the development story? Actually, Halo, in like regards of similarity for Helldivers 2. A story came out this week, and this is not news. I'm just gonna throw this in there. Um, I have no idea about the validity of this the story or not, but it sounds fun, and it sounds like something that would happen to both Halo and Microsoft. Um, I don't know. I think it was either Bungie or 343 when it just started out. Pitched to Microsoft a a Halo ODST 2. Um, and Microsoft just shut it down because ODST didn't really sell as well. If I'm remembering 12, 13 years ago. But when they approached them, basically the gameplay loop for the multiplayer, because ODST had the survival, that you just keep getting waves and waves and waves of monsters.
Mm.
Well, apparently the gameplay loop and design that was presented was literally the Helldivers 2 gameplay design and loop. And how this game has gone off, that they're even having their server problems, which we'll talk about later, but Microsoft just can't make the right decisions. If that's true. If it's true at all. Oh, I really hope it's a true story. That would be hilarious. As far as myself, I haven't really. It has also been a slow-ish week. Well, slow and busy at the same time. Uh, Trying to do homework and doing. Uh, we had another stay-at-home sickness the other day, so I wasn't able to get anything really done then, and so that kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit for getting other things accomplished, especially as we were uh, looking at the Nintendo Direct partner showcase. I do apologize to everyone that I did not get that first episode of Super Nintendo Super Show out last weekend. I was struggling with a bit of anxiety and depression, so that makes doing any kind of online content creation really difficult. So, I just sat and watched anime instead of um, going live, which ended up being just fine because I was able to do the show yesterday after the direct, and then looking forward to the Pokemon Presents and to do a little bit of predictions there as well. So all in all, we're getting back on track with everything. Game playing actually started up Pocket Card Jockey. Ride On that came out yesterday after the direct. It was it's a fun game. It's solitaire with horses.
Yeah. Yeah, I noted that only because my wife loves horses. And I showed it to her today, and she loved it, but she doesn't know how to play solitaire.
It's not a big solitaire. It's at least in this early leveling, it's not like your normal where like you start from your aces and then you work your way up. It's literally like, okay, you have a 2 card. Now, do you have a 3 or an ace card on the bottom that you can click to go into the pile? If not, you click the next card to see what's there. I'm going to assume that eventually the cards will become color coordinated, and then maybe even suit coordinated if they add in suits. Right now it's just colors, so I have no doubt that it will get more difficult as the game goes on, but it's fun. The main character, you start out the game. This is just the very beginning. You try to ride a horse, you get kicked off, and then it kicks you in the head, and so you're sitting there dying, and this angel comes along and agrees to revive you, but you have to fulfill your dream, which in this case is to win the Derby. And if you don't, you get sent to heck when the next time you
I'm
die.
sorry. What's the name of this game? I missed that. I'm sorry.
Pocket Card Jockey Ride On. It's a Switch game from the DS era.
Okay.
It was lost because of the eShop closing for the 3DS. And then last year it was brought back for Apple Arcade and on the Apple Store. But now it's back on the Nintendo platforms, and like I said, it's just it's solitaire with horses. So
It sounds interesting and fun, but I hadn't heard of it before, so got me intrigued.
well, that's one less thing we have to talk about later because I can't actually stay focused on things. But no, actually, then the other thing is I'm gonna be playing hopefully tomorrow the second half of the FF7 Rebirth demo.
Yeah.
I know, Luke, you played that yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh, it's gonna. I am so. We're a week away. Next week is gonna be a Final Fantasy podcast. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ricky.
It's all right. I'm trying to get into Final Fantasy.
There you go.
So.
You could technically start with this one, but you'd probably be better to start with the remake and just play through it because you don't have a PS5. So.
Right.
Right. Oh, but that's next week. We got to go through this last week. Minus a lot of Nintendo stuff.
Yeah.
Just to let you know how much Nintendo stuff, if you did not watch the show yesterday or haven't looked at watching it yet, I went for 2 hours talking about Nintendo stuff by myself. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Guess you don't really need our help then for that.
My voice was really tired by the end of it.
I bet.
Ugh, I haven't done that much talking since I resigned.
Yeah.
Ugh. No, I'm gonna eventually find somebody who's such an uber nerd of Nintendo as much as I am. But this week, in games of other related things, though we are gonna do highlights from the direct in just a bit. Elden Ring is getting an expansion. Um, we have known about the fact that they were getting an expansion, for a few months now, at least. But now, it was announced yesterday. It's called Shadow of the Erdtree. It is coming out June 21st. If you just want to get the base copy of the expansion, it's going to be $40. And then if you want to get a collector's edition, it's going to be up like $250. So, um, Elden Ring is going to be coming back, and I don't know if expansions can be in the running for Game of the Year, but there's going to be probably a whole bunch of people who are going to try to make Elden Ring Game of the Year again.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a fun game.
Even I've been enjoying it, but only because my brother's been guiding me through it, and even helping me with some bosses.
I think I just dropped off because something else that I was more interested in came about,
Mm,
and I got it.
that's
I got
usually
it
what
on a
happens to
whim.
me.
I really
Yeah.
did. That was the only reason I got it. Luke, I know you'd love to play it.
Yeah, I did try it when it first came out. I probably got through 4 or 5 of the mini bosses, the first opening area. I can never beat the opening boss, Margit, I think his name is,
Hmm.
with a big cane. He he
On
just he just whooped my butt
on the bridge or like, yeah,
on the bridge. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He just took me out, and without 2 hands, I gave up.
Bummer. Get one of your kids to be the other hand and do a two player one controller.
Yeah, I can try. I guess I can try it on Xbox and do the co-pilot with the XAC controller.
That could work too. But Elden Ring, that's gonna be all of the talk in June, unless rumors of other things coming are true. Announcements and such things. All right, let's get to the Nintendo Direct. We're just gonna gloss over some highlights. If you want a more in-depth thing, look up the Super Nintendo Super Show episode 1. There's a good 45 minutes to an hour on at least the Direct alone. I think the major thing that is for multi-platform announcements as a whole, Star Wars Battlefront is back. And by Battlefront, I mean the real Battlefront, not this new stuff. Classic Battlefront. And not even both of them. Battlefront 2 is back. They have more maps for both games. More hero characters, Kit Fisto, and I don't remember who the other one was. Shoot. There's at least 2 new hero characters coming on in. It is going to have a 64-player multiplayer, online multiplayer mode available. So you can actually do the full-on battles with all humans, which should be very, very interesting. This is coming out. I didn't write it down. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Battlefront Classic release. March 14th. So less than a month.
Nice.
I'm really hoping that it lives up to the nostalgia that myself and so many other people feel for that game.
Yeah, I remember skipping classes in college to stay in my dorm room and play that. So It's, it's one of my favorites.
It is. I, I gotta say, it's probably one of the best Star Wars games. Just for gameplay, controls, and how it just hooks you. And like you like, okay, I can play another set of rounds of little campaign missions or battles. I can do it, and then hours have passed. Please, 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 don't be a golden eye. Oh, please don't be a golden eye.
There's a Star Wars game I played on Dreamcast that I really liked. I'm trying to
Republic Commando.
find Republic Commando.
Was that it?
Let me see here.
I
just remember
it
running
was
Was it Republic Commando?
no,
Jedi Power Battles?
that's what I'm seeing.
Um,
Or Racer,
I just,
Pod Racer.
I just remember running around as maybe Obi-Wan.
That would probably be
I think
because
it,
that's an episode 1 Jedi Powers battle.
yeah,
that
yeah, that's it. I'm looking at the photos. That's it.
Okay.
I remember that being a lot of fun.
The Battlefront Classic Collection will be coming to all platforms. In a couple weeks. So I gotta actually. Did they release a price on it?
On PlayStation Network is like $32.
Okay.
Like 32.89, I think, is what's on PSN.
It okay, yeah, it's gonna be nope, that's $35 on Steam. And it's got a 20% off right now. Oh. Why did it have to do that to me? It's under $30. I gotta behave. Not buying it. Going on from Star Wars before I talk myself into purchasing something that will get me in trouble. Shin Megami Tensei 5, the expansion DLC. I actually don't really know how to classify it because I think Atlas is calling it DLC, but it's really more of an expansion because it is literally doubling what content was there initially. The original campaign was averaged to 80 hours, and the Canon of Creation route, which is the original, is 80 hours. The Canon of Vengeance route, which is the new one, is also slated to be 80 hours. There are 40 plus new dungeons to this game. You can save anywhere now. The level cap is now 150, and all of the DLC from before is available. It's going to be on all of the platforms, I do believe. So this Persona series, it's actually Persona is part of the Shin Megami Tensei universe. It's not Shin Megami part of Persona. So history of how Atlas produced these games, because Shin Megami was first, and Persona just uses the characters from that universe. And I'm thinking there's other connections as well. But if you are liking what Atlas has been doing with games of late, I know some people have not been happy, but others have been ecstatic about all of the games from Free Reload to looking up Unicorn Overlord, which is coming out on March 8th, and there's a demo that's available right now that you can go play. They're just they're working on getting games out quick and good. So that is going to be a good purchase if you are a fan of more classic style JRPGs. If you were somebody who owned a Wii back in the day and played Disney's Epic Mickey, you'll be happy to know that it is getting a rebrushed remaster.
I see what you did there.
No, that's the name of it. Rebrushed is
Oh, it is. Yeah.
is
You
the
are right.
actual
You are
name
right.
of it.
Yes.
It's coming back. Why did I not put? I started putting release dates on, and these first ones I did not. Epic Mickey refurbished release date. Bah humbug. April 5th. For this old Wii platformer game. I know that the camera in the original game was a struggle, but besides that, it was a fairly decent platformer game, and there is definitely a cult following for that game. So, if you're a fan of old school Mickey, there's a game for you.
Yeah.
I talked about Pocket Card Jockey earlier, and then Super Monkey Ball is getting a new game. Banana Rumble. This is out on June 25th. I actually did put the release date of this one on. It's a new game, so there's new levels. There's a new boost mechanic on it, so you can just charge up as you're going, and it'll help you shoot over gaps more. And if you have a ramp, it'll shoot you up and over that too. It's also going to have a 16-player online multiplayer mode, which sounds like absolute chaos as you're rolling through a course and getting knocked off here, there, and everywhere. And for those, if you have not played Monkey Ball, the controls of it are actually a little bit different. You are not actually controlling the monkey in the ball. You are controlling the physics of the world around it. You are tilting the world, and the monkey is just falling in the direction you are tilting it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Monkey Ball history and game mechanics, if you did not know that. I am really hoping it's going to be like 1 and 2. I'm not holding out on that though, because there have been more games that have been not like the originals than there have been of the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you guys have any games that you had seen at the direct that you were excited of, or games that you didn't see at the direct that you had hoped were going to be shown at the partner showcase?
One game caught my eye. I think it was towards the end. It was Endless Ocean Luminous.
Yes.
When I saw it when it first appeared, I thought it was gonna be Subnautica. But then the title came across like, oh, this looks less scary. And maybe not. I don't know.
It is a sequel to a few other and it is actually a Nintendo game. Funny enough, so they ended on a non-partner game with it.
Right.
But I think the original one came out on the Wii, and then there was, I think, a second one that came out. So it's
yeah,
it's got a history.
it's just that one. Yeah. Yeah, I had never heard of it until the direct. So yeah. That does come by that I might end up trying. And also, Monster Hunter Stories looked interesting to me.
From how I've heard of things, the Stories 2 is supposedly better in most or all ways, but um,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean that it's not okay. The if it has the same battle mechanic as 2, it's like a weird rock paper scissors um form of combat. Weird.
Mm.
I that was the main reason that kept me from playing it, because I have definitely grown to like Monster Hunter a lot. But no, it is one
Yeah.
of the ones that I put up like, hey, this is a fun game to look out for. I'm right there with you on that one.
Yeah, that was it's just those two for me. What about you, Luke?
Well, of course, I was excited for the Star Wars game.
Oh, yeah.
It was Battlefront 2. Um, being an older guy, I thought the Epic Mickey looked kind of fun because I remember playing it on the Wii back in the day.
Hmm.
I was I was kind of surprised by that one. Um, but the next one that kind of got me though, we're talking about in a few minutes, was a Microsoft announcement. I just thought it was a strange game for them to put on the Switch, but
Yeah, the ones that they decided to put on the Switch, we're definitely going to get into that.
so that's it for me.
Um, I didn't one of you, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Um, the Ender Lilies um sequel, I think, was announced during the direct. Ender Magnolia. Maybe, yeah, that was you, Luke. I thought I remember one of you two putting that out there somewhere. So that was also another one of those. Um, it's a Metroidvania, I think, style game.
Mm.
That was in the Nintendo Direct. There will be a Pokemon Presents next Tuesday on the 27th, 6 a.m. Pacific, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. I do not know if it's going to be a pre-recorded video like this direct was, or if it's going to be live. I'm going to guess it's going to be a pre-recorded video. Um, like I said last night, just hold your expectations. These presents usually are not as exciting as you would hope or think they would be. Um, and they take a long time to get to like the main game that you would be excited to see. It's like still like a third of the entire presentation that is just the main line, or the exciting bigger game, not the Unites or the Pogos or the talking about the show or the TCG or anything else like merch. That still takes over most of the show. So just take it easy, take it patiently, as you're going. There could be some fun announcements. There could be some heartbreak if some of the rumors are true for people who don't like chibi style games. All right.
One last comment about the direct.
Yeah.
Just kind of funny. Grounded, the first one they showed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that one, like the first after the announcement of it, like the first thing in my mind was, "Honey, I Shrunk Pal World,"
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's very similar concept, but they're dealing with insects and other
It's basically
bugs.
the same game minus the capturing of critters.
Right, right. Yeah.
So same type of game as a survival.
Yep.
But those the 4 games from Xbox that are going to be shared out between Switch and PlayStation. Grounded is coming to all of the other games on April 16th. It's going to support crossplay. Pentiment is going to be on all platforms, and it came out yesterday. Today is the 22nd. It came out today. Sea of Thieves is coming April 30th to PS5 only, and it will have cross-play as well. And then Hi-Fi Rush is only coming to the PS5. And that is coming out March 19th. Now, I'm going to assume that Luke was going to be talking about, as he's dealing with his kids or plugging things in, the same thing, that why in the world was Hi-Fi Rush not included as the Nintendo game, but they put Grounded on? Because Grounded is I think it's an always online game. Or at least it has more of a possibility of doing that because of the 4-player multiplayer. So that would, I would think, be harder to run on the Switch than Hi-Fi Rush. But maybe there's just some stuff under the hood from Hi-Fi Rush that they couldn't lower the lower the graphics or lower the engine that is running Hi-Fi Rush enough so that it would run on the Switch. I don't know. It's a very loud game. It's a very vibrant game, and a lot of it just kind of goes back and forth on each other. So I can see why it would be a struggle but on the Switch. But I feel like Grounded would be just as hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are the 4. A couple other things about all of those 4. Hi-Fi Rush will be getting a physical release for both Xbox and PlayStation. That's going to be coming through limited run games. And then Pentiment will also be getting a physical release for all 3 systems. That is also coming through limited run games. As a fun historical note, Sea of Thieves will be the first ever Rare developed game that is coming to the PlayStation of any system, PlayStation system. So, because Nintendo had a large share of the stocks for Rare towards the beginning of their life, and then Microsoft bought Nintendo out. So that's why Sony has never seen any Rare games. Fun. Oh, and I guess with all of these, they gave Nintendo 5 games from Rare for the Switch Online for the original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and 64. So those were also a part of the hidden extra games that are not the main Xbox 360 and Series games that came to or that are coming to the other systems. Luke, am I right in assuming that you thought Hi-Fi Rush was going to be a Switch game?
I don't know if I thought that one was. I guess I thought I thought for sure Pentiment would be.
Yeah.
just because it's a lower res game,
Absolutely.
not really online a multiplayer type issue. I just thought, yeah, exactly. So many moving parts with Hi-Fi Rush. It may be testing the Switch too much perhaps, but I was
Yeah.
just surprised it was grounded, not Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment.
Yeah. It was never going to be Sea of Thieves.
No.
That is for sure an always online game. Oh, I think they did just introduce an offline mode. I haven't paid attention to Sea of Thieves in a while. I'd have to ask my friend who has recently just that is like the only game he plays now.
I pay attention to it for the accessibility stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know about the offline issue or mode maybe.
I think well they at least have a more PvE mode instead of an always PvP mode. I know that is a thing where you can't do other damage, though I think they have lowered the amount of loot that you can get because you don't have to worry about people coming and stealing your stuff. Um okay, I guess anything else for Xbox stuff? All right.
No.
Helldivers 2, going back to that. The devs are actively working to fix the server capacity issues. The CEO went to Twitter, say they are actively working on it, and he's got some snark behind it because somebody's like, "Well, why don't you get back to work and help and do it?" And he's like, "Okay, I'll go sit right behind the guys as they're working on it, and just sit there like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Do you think that they're gonna work faster with me sitting right behind them, or do you think they're gonna be doing faster when I leave them alone?" Oh, that was refreshing to see. Uh, a CEO go for it like that, but they're just asking for patience as they're just the running into some difficulties in implementing the server capacity changes. So hopefully
I don't
soon.
know. I don't know the validity of this claim, but somewhere I read that they're using Microsoft servers, and so according to this rumor, Phil Spencer's all been on his shape because he wants Helldivers 2 to be on the Xbox systems because they're using his servers. So, so I don't know. I just saw that somewhere. Might be a crazy conspiracy theory, but who knows?
I think I saw that as well. I who knows? Who
I
knows
will
what's
say it's a fun game. They don't really push, or at least my experience with it was weren't really pushing pay to win type situations like some games as a service do. This was pretty organic the way you progressed and leveled up and
good.
Gary you won. It's a good game. I enjoyed it. And if I can get once I get back in, I'll start playing it more. But that seems to be the issue right now, the server issue.
Sure. And then right before our show started, in the last like 2 hours or 3 hours, okay, three, or there were three news things that popped up, and then one that I'm like, oh shoot, we should talk about. Um, just in the last few hours. So I don't know if you guys had seen these or not beforehand. Riot has announced a new 2v2 tag based fighting game called 2XKO, or it could be 2 Cross KO, depending on if they're going with the Japanese pronunciation of the X as cross or the Western understanding of what that character is. So it could be 2XKO or 2 Cross KO. I don't know what it is. It looks like a fighting game. It with a little more of an anime feel to it. So if that's your cup of tea, definitely look into it. Like we said before, the Rebirth demo part 2 is out, and today was the review embargo for the game. So if you are worried about spoilers, yeah, start being very careful about where you're going online. You might want to mute some tags on your socials, so that, especially if you're worried about the one scene with Sephiroth. We'll just leave it like that. If you're worried about that scene being spoiled, whether it happens or not, or if it's changed, start hiding. Start just being vigilant about what you have. But the reviews are in, and it is a hit among critics. The Metacritic score is 93 for it, which makes it the second highest reviewed Final Fantasy game. 9 is the highest at 94. Then 10, 6, and actually 16 as well are all sitting at 92. So, 7 Rebirth is up there for like 9, a fantastic game. 10, a fantastic game. 6, a fantastic game. 16, I need to play more to make an appropriate explanation or review of it on my part. But the fact that Rebirth is 93, okay, it did better than Remake. Let's go. For our Destiny 2 fans, I know that you were kind of on the road a bunch and doing stuff with family, Ricky. But there is some news of some trials stuff going on. I can, unless you want to take over going about it, if you look up a bit.
Yeah, I know enough about it now.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I was gonna say it sounds like, but it's pretty much a thing coming from the official TWAB or
Quid, I think now.
Quid. Yeah.
This Week in
This Week in
Destiny.
Destiny. Yeah,
Ooh, give
but
us a twab.
basically, yeah, basically after you get 7 wins on the whatever the trials card,
Mhm.
you are guaranteed an adept drop. Well, of the weekly adept weapon, that is. Regardless of how many losses you've taken.
You don't have to go flawless anymore.
Right, because of course the whole point of trials has been to reward flawless players. Which is one reason I don't like trials. It's all about reward. It to me it just it rewards elitism, and that was a huge. I mean, just elitism
Mhm.
overall was a huge problem in the very early Destiny days, like Destiny 1.
Yes.
Then Trials came along, and it's for sweats for sure. But
Do you have your rocket launcher to go fight Crota?
yeah, it's all about swords now, though. You have Lament now, is the what it is, which makes a lot of sense because it's the sword logic that you defeat them with. Anyway, so just what it says on the TWID. With a new passage of persistence, losses following a win will remove the win from your card. Consecutive losses do not remove additional wins. That's pretty big. Getting to 7
Yeah.
wins grants you a drop of the weekly adept weapon, regardless of how many losses you've taken. This passage works like a trailing backstop. Once you have at least 1 win recorded on the passage, a loss will remove the most recent win instead of flying it. Since consecutive losses will not remove additional wins, winning 2 games in a row adds a permanent win to the card, and win streaks longer than 2 add additional permanent wins. That is amazing. That might get me into
Yes.
trials. And you can only go flawless on this passage if you do not have a win removed. Once a win has been removed, you can no longer get flawless using this passage, but you can still earn a roll of the weekly adept weapon. See, I don't care. For me personally, I don't care about going flawless. I just want the gear. I want that precious loot.
That
Right?
has been locked behind
So
perfection.
yeah, I didn't read the TWAB. I usually have Aztec Cross read it to me.
Sure.
Because I haven't had time because of family stuff. But so I don't know when this drops. Probably soon. Probably Tuesday. That's their weekly hot
Reset.
fix stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this I will probably start playing trials now because of this.
Right.
So if this has me excited, PvP, elitist PvP, this has got to be good.
Woohoo!
I did see something by Destiny Bulletin, who had very positive comments about
Good.
their changes to PvP. So, and those are rare. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting.
Awesome.
I've been thinking about Destiny 2 all week. I've been despising my hunter, and I recently got back to my hunter because I just been coming up with really good loadouts and have been wrecking.
Nice.
So I've been thinking about it all week and I miss it. So yeah, I've been thinking about, well, maybe I should just get a gaming laptop to take with me and play Destiny on. But I know nothing about how much RAM it should need and stuff like that.
You could get a Steam Deck.
What's that?
It's Steam's handheld gaming console. Think of a Switch but bigger, and it's designed to play Steam games.
That's what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
So I could play Destiny on that thing?
Yeah. It came out 2.5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, the iterations of it now. I'm totally get an OLED screen one. Totally go for that. It will.
It's cheaper than a gaming laptop.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Huh. Okay. Well,
and it will. Yeah, seriously look into it if you're wanting to do PC stuff on the go.
Cool.
I have almost bought one many times. I actually had one of the initial ones pre-ordered. I was in one of the first waves, but then I canceled it because I did not have $600-700 to spare at the time.
That's so cool.
Huh. Anything else for D2, or you wanna?
That's the only thing I heard about Destiny for this week.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just basic hot fixes that are coming. The main thing is still the big change to the sandbox. Yeah, that's it.
All right, and then the thing that came up an hour and a half ago, I think, maybe 2 hours ago, is that Mortal Kombat, the newest one, is getting crossplay next week for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC on both Steam and Epic. So that should breathe some life back into the game with crossplay with a K. This is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Mortal Wombat.
Well, that is the selection of gaming news that from this last week that um, came across our desks that we wanted to share with you for game specific things. We do have two non game gaming topics. The Borderlands movie got its first trailer released the other day. I know that we on this panel are divided on a little bit on how excited or how frustrated and disappointed we are with
I have opinions.
many different aspects of it. Ugh, what the hell? How long have we been going? You know what? I actually want to kind of get a show close to an hour, so I think we should
Okay,
just
that's fine. We
leave
can skip past it. We can skip past it.
it. Yeah, the if you want to see a lot of the complaints, just scroll through Reddit or Twitter, and you will see all sides of the argument.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, if you're watching this, you probably already know about the argument. So,
yeah, possibly. The next thing.
Yeah, you got Halo books.
Yeah, this got me really excited. So yeah, a new Halo book, featuring the return of the Didact, is coming out. It's called Halo Epitaph by Kelly Gay. It's when I looked it up, it says it's set to publish February 27th, which is next Tuesday,
Huh?
the time of this recording. But somebody said that they saw it in Barnes and Noble. So I don't know if they're confused or if they're telling the truth.
I have seen bookstores break street date more often than video games.
Yeah. So yeah. By the way, I'm going to Half Price Books tomorrow with my wife, and hopefully they'll have it, but probably not because they tend to sell used books. But in any case, yeah. So the return of the Didact. What?
Yeah. Is that okay? So are they going to be putting this in the Infinite storyline, or are they going to be maybe putting it into like a 6 storyline?
You think storyline?
Like making Halo 6, well, Halo 7, because Infinite is 6 technically, but
well, I mean, yeah. So, well, let me read the synopsis, and
sure.
I'll get to the chronology. So yeah, it's by Kelly Gay. She's other Halo of the Halo book series. She's also written Smoke and Shadow, Renegades, Point of Light, the Rubicon Protocol, and a short story in Fractures. Epitaph, this is what it says. Stripped of armor, might, and memory, the legendary Forerunner warrior, known as the Didact, was torn from the physical world following his destructive confrontation with the Master Chief, and sent reeling into the mysterious depths of a seemingly endless desert wasteland. This once powerful and terrifying figure is now a shadow of his former self, gaunt, broken, desiccated, and alone. But this wasteland is not as barren as it seems. A blue light glints from a thin spire in the far distance. I mean, based on that synopsis alone, it's difficult to tell where to place it chronologically. But my best guess would be after the book New Blood. Obviously after Halo 4's events. Halo New Blood is literally just it's how what's his name? The ODST that Nathan Fillion played.
Oh.
In Halo 3 ODST, and he
George?
becomes a Spartan. No, I don't think so. If I look up Nathan Fillion, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST. Come on, give me the freaking character's name. Not
Gunnery Sergeant Reynolds.
No, not Reynolds.
Edward Buck.
Yeah, Gunnery Sergeant Buck. So as part of his story, New Blood is It's part of his story, and it also tells a bit of how he becomes a Spartan 4, although that's not the main focus. So that's right before Halo 4.
Sure.
And then and so I would say that Epitaph would be after that book. So it's after New Blood, and my guess is this is directly after Halo 4.
Okay.
That's where we meet the Didact, right? I always confuse that with Halo 5's events. It's been a while. Halo 5 was no. Halo 5 is where we met.
Yeah, because
Wait, hold on.
Halo 5 is where we lose Cortana, because it's the
Right.
two teams
Right. Yeah,
throughout
yeah.
all of it, and Master
Oh.
Chief just okay, you lose her in 4, but you're like really lose her in 5.
Right.
And then it's Wars 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Halo 5 Didact.
I can't see from the little I remember of the storyline. I can't, because the Didact doesn't interact during Halo Wars 2, and if he escapes whatever he is, now you think he would have been greatly involved in the events of Wars 2, or even right now in Infinite.
Yeah.
So
we encounter him in Halo 4.
okay.
So my best guess is this is right after Halo 4.
Okay.
Um
Who are the
and
knowledge
of course
on
we
this?
won't know for sure. Yeah. Of course I won't know for sure until I pick up my own copy of the book.
You got to find a Barnes
So,
and Noble
yeah.
near you and see if they have it out.
Yeah, I should do that, shouldn't I? Though I shouldn't spend more money.
As you had just talked about buying a Steam Deck.
Yeah, it's in considering.
And you just got an analog pocket.
That's true.
All good.
So yeah, it's chronologically it's difficult to tell until I actually pick up the book. Some people, there's some mixed feelings about it. Some people are like, "What? How?" And I'm just like, "Well, pick up the book and read it."
No.
It'll tell us how. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the same thing as somehow Palpatine returned. In all the books, they tend to do very well with the lore. And so I mean, this will be specifically the Didact. This will be his third time returning. Yeah, the first time it will be in the first video that I do about Halo lore from the books. Whenever I do that,
Sure.
but yeah, I knew he was gonna return eventually, because we don't actually see him die at the end of Halo 4.
No.
Right. When it comes to video games and movies, unless you see the body,
yeah,
they're not dead. Right. He just kind of fell into the abyss. And
I mean, you could say
Master
the same
Chief can
about the
survive.
Emperor.
Yeah, but there was an explosion.
But we didn't see a body.
Whatever. Fine. But at least it's the explanation I don't like.
I know.
Somehow,
I know. I'm just teasing.
Then the explanation came later.
The legends book stories have the better thing with him having clones of himself.
Yeah. But and the other mixed feelings is, well, you should put this in the games and not the books. I can understand that, but there's at this point, well, now there's going to be 35, so I mean, they're not going to stop writing books.
I mean,
for it. There's a lot of Star Wars books too, and nobody complains about that.
How often have they actually made games? Like once every 8 years?
Right. Right.
I guess it's a little closer to that. Maybe once every 4 years. There's a different kind of Halo game.
Yeah, and you can't put everything in a game either.
No.
3
came
out
in 2007.
And the other thing too is Halo is a sci-fi epic,
Hmm.
like Star Wars.
Hmm.
We got movies, we got games, we got books. Now, I mean, there are canonical and non-canonical books now because of reasons, but it's a sci-fi epic.
Sure.
There should be um multiple media. Uh, that's why I'm really hoping Bungie does Destiny 2 books or Destiny books, I should say. They have some graphic novels. I haven't read them. But I mean, they're when you read the lore, the in-game lore with the lore books, the writing that Bungie does is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Another sci-fi epic. So I really want them to have people write novels. Um, Especially because I mean, when Bungie used to own Halo, and they had Eric Nyland and others write
When they actually cared about the
who
game.
yeah, right, when they wrote the books, they were good. Anyway, getting sidetracked. So yeah, Didact is back for the third time, and I'm excited to read it.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up all of our news segments for this week. Our roundtable of the day, we're going to hopefully get through 2 topics. We'll see how long the first one takes. The second one shouldn't take as long because it's a brand new uh, poll that has come out from Square. Definitely take a look at that if we don't get onto it. But the first topic, I know there isn't a question in the picture, but the question overall is this. So games like Heroes of the Storm have pretty much stopped receiving updates and patches. They just reset the servers every week to dump the cache so that the games don't get bloated and slow. So it's just part of their weekly Tuesday routine of fixing up the servers, or it's another day. I don't remember. It's been years since I've played Heroes of the Storm. Uh, but because it is in this state now, the fact that it is a complete game for yeah, it is a complete game. It's not missing any content other than stuff that they had planned on doing that they just got their funding cut from them and they were no longer able to play it. And so you're no longer having to worry about your character changing from week to week with balance and patch notes and all of these other things. So, I guess the question is, would you prefer more games to fix up their games less in multiplayer? To go back to the days when we couldn't fix it up, like Smash Brothers and Melee, all of the old Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and basically any fighting game uh, up through the 64 PS2, and then adding the GameCube on after that. These games didn't receive updates because you couldn't. What you got in the box was what you got in the box. Would you like to play games more like that? Or do you like the fact that they try to fix things as we go? As the game evolves and changes and adds things. I mean, it could easily be a both and, depending on the game.
Well,
But
yeah, I
which
was gonna
would you
say
prefer?
I have mixed feelings about it because on the one hand, it is really nice that regular fixes come in to fix bugs. But on the other hand, of course, I'm thinking about Destiny 2 as I say this. On the other hand, it is really annoying when devs come in and like nerf something 'Cause, like, something that I've really enjoyed and has been a huge part of how I play. There's like, oh, I can't play the way I want anymore.
Mm.
Um, so it's kind of, yeah. I mean, like I said, mixed feelings, but I think mostly it upsets me, which is why I always dread the twabs that Bungie does. It's like, all right, what are they nerfing this time? Like, what else do I have to?
Yeah.
How else am I gonna have to change the way I play this game? So yeah, I guess I do miss the days where they release the game and you get what you get.
Hmm.
And I think that's even better for game development because there's of more of a good work ethic to actually give people a game that's actually complete, rather than getting to the deadline and getting it as complete as you can get, and then
Models losing
you
their
know
faces.
yeah, yeah, and then once it's out to the public and everyone sends in the complaints, and you gotta go back and fix everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Piggybacking off that, like, also you could put all of your resources towards your next project. You weren't putting a third, a half, a quarter of your manpower into fixing the game you've already made, but you're making a new one so you can keep making money, you can keep growing.
Yeah.
If you didn't have to worry about patching. Luke, you got thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Ricky. I see a positive side and negative side to this. The developer that comes to my mind with this topic is CD Projekt Red.
Mm.
In particular, because you look at a game like Witcher 3. When did Witcher 3 release? 2016, 2017?
Something like that. I think it was part of the year of
And
everything with 2017.
okay, and for Witcher 3, it was mostly a complete experience. Then they also patched in like two or three gigantic DLCs after the fact.
No, it
And
was
so
released
that
in
that was
2015.
2015. So yeah, that was a wonderful experience in my opinion. But then you go to 2020 or 2021 and have modern Project Red just released a incomplete game in Cyberpunk 2077. But I think they did kind of make up for that with patching the game
Hmm.
several times through trial and error, also releasing an awesome DLC. So I think if as long as they fix the problem, then it's fine.
Hmm.
But I think developers are relying too much on fixing the problem as a crutch.
Yeah.
If I release this game 6 months early, get all of our money, and I can fix it later. It's kind of a crappy thing for them to do, but um, time is money, I guess.
It's the publishing houses that are pushing them out more than the developing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 3 games that have come to mind while you guys have been talking, um,
Mm.
about how I really didn't like the patching, how it saved a game, and how just wish they would stop tweaking everything every week.
Yeah.
First one, the one I didn't like, Tears of the Kingdom, a single player game, mostly with glitches, and it's the item duplication glitch. Who is it hurting if I decide that I want to start duping items? Other than the fact that I will finish the game experience quicker. And for a game as long as Tears of the Kingdom is, that's okay. Because there is so much other stuff to do that duping will not help you with. It just lets you not worry about your resources as you're going through the game, making it be able to play like an old Zelda game where your only resources you had to worry about were your money, your arrows, and your bombs. So that was one that I got really peeved at because I had to. I had saved myself from updating it forever, but then I had to transfer my Animal Crossing island over to my new Switch OLED that I had gotten, so that my wife could put her island on my old launch Switch, so that she could have a better system as well. So and it automatically updated. I should have. No, I couldn't completely close off the online because stuff had to work through the internet to get the Animal Crossing stuff across. So that frustrated me. But then there's games like No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Another one like Cyberpunk, where the game was crap at launch. It promised so many things and didn't deliver on anything, but they stuck with the game, and they have put out like 10 different DLC expansions in the few years that it's been out, which is nuts. They are continually working on the game and adding to it. Awesome. Great. Again, good thing. And then my WoW, or any MMO, when every week they have to balance the classes because you can't have a power fantasy and just blow through enemies because of raids, for the fact that they want to make sure that those stay in check and are a specific difficulty level, and you're not just going in with one class for the entire raid. I play a Death Knight, or I have played. I'm not currently, and there have been times where nothing could kill me in the game. As a tank, I could out heal the healers from my own, and it was just healing me with an overshield. Like, I had to work to let myself get killed. I had to stand in all the bad. But that has been nerfed up and down, left and right throughout all of the expansions, throughout all of the patches of the expansions. There are 16 classes in the game, somewhere around there. And each of those classes have different specs. So we are looking at over 30 different ways that people can play characters, that they choose to balance them all the time so that PvP doesn't become unbalanced, because an ability that works great against PvE fights would be too OP against real life people, so they have to nerf it to Kingdom Come. Or somebody's just doing too much damage, too much DPS, too much healing. They survive too well compared to all of the rest of the classes. And so instead of bringing up the other classes, they cut the top ones. And so it ruins the metas all the time. It ruins the power fantasies that, like, I am strong, I can play. How many world and universe ending conflicts have we defeated by this point? I should be able to kick butt just going straight into the next expansion just because of who my character is and how much they've gone through. Now, I know that is horrible gameplay development, and that is just not something that you can keep going. Like they've done 2 or 3 stat squishes at this point because the numbers were getting too big. People's computers could not handle the games because of the numbers that their damage was doing. So, then you look at Melee and like, okay, you can't use Meta Knight and you can't use Fox and Ice Climbers. Or at least it's Meta Knight and Ice Climbers. I think they allow Fox in tournaments because they are too OP.
Yeah.
That's great for casual play.
Yeah.
But as soon as you put a competitive element to it, or you put more than one person or a small family group, and it doesn't have to be a family, but couch co-op group together. If you get more than that, then you need to start policing your game so that people can play whoever they want to play and feel like they can succeed.
Right.
So it's a blessing and a curse. Patches. I think it would be really fun to play Heroes, though, with the idea that, okay, there are good characters and there are bad characters. And I don't have to change how I play. I can learn a style and then keep doing it.
Yeah.
That would be nice and relaxing. IMO. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page on that.
Yeah, there's definitely an ups and downs. I mean, especially what you're saying about Fallout 76.
Well, that's another one too.
I wish they did that with that happened. I wish that what happened with Fallout 76 is what happened with Anthem. I loved that game.
Yeah, Anthem
So much fun.
deserved more. Deserved better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have enough time. This one shouldn't take long. Square Enix has released a survey to their members page with 3 hypothetical proposals for Team Asano asking for feedback, and that is the team that made Octopath Traveler. Would you rather see them make a game of a town development sim, a 3D dungeon RPG, or a puzzle RPG?
3D dungeon RPG because I like that more than the other 2.
Sure.
Just my preference. That simple.
Yeah, sure. Now, Square is the one who has been really focusing on the HD 2D with the light blooming and all of the fancy 2D, 3D-ish graphics. Like with Octopath, like with Dragon Quest 3, that was missing from the partner showcase yesterday. It's been a couple years since that's been announced. Luke, what you looked like you were about to say something.
I think the building sim would be fun within that art style. I think it'd be really neat to see what we could do. Kind of in the same vein as like a survival type game, like Frostpunk,
Okay.
something like that. But with that art style, I think would be really intriguing to do. Any thoughts on that?
That actually sounds unique. I like us more survival than farming sim.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they just did a survival farming sim, Harvestella last year. Um, that could be fun. Like Through the Fire and the Flames. That was a Kickstarter game. It was a survivor focused. You're just going down a river. Yeah.
What's the name of that sim again?
Luke.
Frostpunk.
Frostpunk.
It is a hard game, and it is very. There are no good guys. There are no good decisions.
I hate
Everyone
that.
dies. Everyone's unhappy.
It's
It's like
morally
Last of Us.
gray. They
Yeah,
say.
it's like Last of Us. You don't enjoy your time there, but you still have fun.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Looks like Frostpunk 2 is coming out soon.
Yeah, sometime next year or this year, 2024, I think.
Cool. I actually, we have all gone for a separate one, a puzzle RPG, and not necessarily like puzzles as we kind of see them in today's games. I would love to see like a throwback to some Super Nintendo puzzles, because some of those puzzles were much more involved than I'm gonna go to this room, hit a switch, go to the next room, hit a switch. I'm gonna get a key here, go to there, and back and forth, back and forth. Like you had to. My mind is going through Lufia 2 right now, where you had to sometimes shoot arrows at switches to shift which bridges were open. And this was all in an RPG game, not an action game. A 2D action game. You would be pushing blocks all over the place to find the correct placement for them, because you saw, this is a Golden Sun one, where you saw an image on the floor above and you had to copy that image on the floor below. Or there's back to Lufia, a game where you pick up a piece of there's a grid of colored tiles, and if you picked up a piece and then put it somewhere, any tile that was a different color in that line becomes your color. I can't remember what game that is, but there were multiple puzzles that did that. And so I don't see these kinds of puzzles in the games anymore.
Yeah.
So that would be a fantastic thing. I mean, the other thing is, the other way we could always take this is like, can you just remake Chrono Trigger, please, in the HD 2D version? Could you do some of the tactics, or do another Bravely Default, or another Triangle Strategy, or just do something brand new? Lots of possibilities with this. I would like them to do all of it. I think that's just where I'm at. I would love them to do all of it.
Yeah.
But that's because RPGs are my bread and butter.
Yeah.
So. If you want to partake in that survey, I'm seeing if I can, if the link that I saw this post on has a link to. Okay, so yeah, some of the examples that were given for puzzle RPGs were not the things that I had talked about. They are more of the Connect 5 or Connect 4 Bejeweled type games. I knew that was probably what it was going to be, but there is no specific link, and it is seeming to be all in Japanese. So, oh well, it will be interesting to see, because again, a month or month ago, I think, Square had put out a press release that they were dialing back on just giving anybody and everybody as much development gumption as they wanted to, and they were going to be much more specific in the projects they were going to back. So I'm hoping for a higher quality of game from them.
Yeah.
In the years to come. But I think that about wraps up our show, unless anybody else has anything else to say. We have gone under 2 hours, which we have not done in forever.
Yeah.
Let's see. We barely went under 2 hours last week. It was barely. Yeah. It's been 4 or 5 weeks since we've been this close to under 2 hours. All right. That being said, Gaming Public Radio is made possible due to support from viewers like you. So thank you very much. If you would like to see other content going on, we are slowly branching out. We have our Nintendo show. We're going to be having book reviews. We're going to be having game impressions and reviews for some of the newer titles coming on out. We're going to be having a lot of different content coming your way in the weeks and months to come. So it is thanks to all of you guys' support that we are looking forward to expanding our horizons for the channel. You can find Luke at Good Fight Games pretty much anywhere, or from a podcast to YouTube to Twitter. That's where he's at. You can find Ricky at Righteous Lutheran, or Ann with a W and sometimes an A, sometimes a not, on Instagram and Twitter. You can find myself, Hollow Foxmoon, on Twitter and Twitch mostly, as I'm going to be streaming a bunch of Final Fantasy VII in the weeks to come. So if you want to watch some of that, come on over. If you didn't catch any of that, you can look into the description below to find out where we are. Thank you so much for watching, and you can find more content for excellence in gaming right here on GPR. Thanks again. Bye.